And good Sunday morning to everyone. How are you doing today? Look at that. Uncle Willie is here first thing in the morning. Good morning, Uncle Willie. How you doing today? Just another beautiful day here. We're actually getting supposed to be getting a couple inches of snow overnight now. Starting sometime today. Supposed to be in the mid 50s today. And then overnight tonight and through Monday we're supposed to be getting some measurable snow. So winter's not giving up here in North Dakota yet. Still trying to keep on. And good morning, Tammy. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you here this morning. So last night, I actually did something I normally don't do. I did a video showing something different that I make for my wife and I. My wife's type 2 diabetic. She's been eating a very low carb, zero carb diet for just over a year now. And she's had really good success, but she still misses stuff. One of the things that she misses is ice cream. And I did a video making this ice cream. This ice cream is Dr. Kilt's recipe with a couple additions to it, or modifications, I should say. I add cinnamon to it, and you see these specks in there. That's actually the fudge keto brick. I shredded that and put that in there. It's actually really good. Hey, Benny, good morning. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you here. So this is a treat that my wife can have. It doesn't affect her blood glucose. It doesn't have any effect on her cravings for anything else. And best of all, it makes her happy. So more power to it there. This is actually really good because it's just heavy cream and egg, cinnamon, the keto brick, and it's only a small part of the keto brick, so it's not very much of it to begin with. And then when we can get it, we use the RX sugar allulose, but that hasn't been available for quite a while. They have a new thing out that's RX sugar supercross, which is a mixture of the allulose and dextrose. So we do have some of that, and that's what we used in there for the sweetener on this one. You don't have to put that in there. If you use like raw cream, the raw cream is amazing. If you can get raw cream and make ice cream out of it, it is absolutely fantastic. And that's what we've done before. In the summertime, we can get this from our farmer's market. We can get the raw cream and stuff, and it's absolutely delicious when you make it with raw. You don't need a sweetener in it at all then. But that's what I did last night, and I actually have that the video of that. I redid that this morning, did a voiceover, because you don't need to hear me mixing the stuff in there. And then my dog's walking around. My son and his girlfriend came home about that same time that I was making that, so I just voice over everything, and that video should be out right about noon Central Time or 1 o'clock Eastern. And it'll be on YouTube, Rumble, and on X. So if anybody wants to check that out, see what you have going on. What are my thoughts on the Redmond's Real Salt High Lead and Arsenic controversy? I use Redmond's and will continue to use it. As do I. I haven't really. I saw Carrie Mann's video. I didn't watch it. I actually started it, got interrupted, and I haven't been back to it. But I saw that, and I heard this morning Dr. Kiltz was on his live this morning. They were talking about it too, just a little bit, not very much. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough, but where did the information come from? Who's behind the information? Redmond's Real Salt is being used by a tremendous amount of people now. So who's behind the information? who paid for the study to find it? I don't trust this kind of stuff. So I honestly don't know what's going on with it. And I don't know if what's going on at all with that stuff. Benny says, I really can't do carnivore ice cream. You really can't eat it without the expectation of it being sweet. And that's why if you can get the raw heavy cream, it's naturally sweet and you don't need a sweetener in it. This ice cream that I made last night using the RX, the Supercross, which it doesn't have an effect on my wife or myself, so we can use it. It doesn't trigger us to want to eat more sweet stuff. But 2 teaspoons of RX Supercross in this here made it so it does taste sweet. With the addition of the fudge keto brick, it's actually really good. You can't tell that it's not like a supermarket ice cream when you're eating it. It's really good. Now, if you throw it in the freezer, then you can tell that it's not a supermarket ice cream because it gets really, really hard, and you have to let it thaw out before you can eat it if it's been in the freezer for any amount of time. It is something that you do have to eat like right away because there's just no storing it for any amount of time. But it was actually really good. I mean, and it still helped. It still helps me to continue to lose weight. So I don't mind having it. Uncle Willie says, watch Too Crazy Keto video on the subject. They put the numbers in context. Okay, so you're talking about the Redmond salt and the heavy metals that were reported in it. I'll have to watch that one. That one's probably a better one to watch than the Carrie Man. And Carrie gets kind of carried away with some of his stuff. And I know he put in there that he stopped using Redmonds. I'm going to continue to use Redmonds as far as I know. Because like I said, I haven't looked into it much. But if you look at what we're eating to begin with, I don't think it's going to be that bad. So, but everything. If this came out of a California study where Proposition 65 is involved in it, everything in the state of California causes cancer. So, I don't really trust unless I know and I can find out who actually did the study, who paid for it, and why they were doing it. The drug companies and the food companies don't want us healthy. So if they can throw shade on something that we're using to keep healthy, they will. Uncle Willie said, I took your suggestion on doing keto brick mix for ice cream. It was delicious. Absolutely, Uncle Willie. Like I said, I used the fudge and I shaved it. The cheese grater's got all the different sizes. I use the smallest shredder I could, and it was absolutely delicious. Throw it in the fridge, let it get cold so it gets a little more solid. And it was probably a 16th of a keto brick. And I shaved that and put it in there. Man, was that good. Either way, it's either plastics or lead. Pick your poison. Absolutely, Benny. And there's so many different things that we're getting out there. People just don't know. There's nothing healthy, even breathing our air. If you look at the AccuWeather website, they give you a air quality. Look at what we're breathing in and what they're tracking on the air quality. There's some terrible stuff out there. But if you don't know it, you'll live forever, right? Well, not really. But that's one of the things is they track so many different things. They try to throw so many things under the bus to make people stop paying attention to it. It's just not right anymore. And everything that people are doing to get healthy right now is catching the attention of the food companies and the drug manufacturers, and they're trying to make it so that it's not really popular, and they're trying to make people double guess themselves on trying to get healthy, thinking that whatever we're going to use is going to be bad for us. Uncle Willie says you use 3/4 of a brick. Holy cow! Well, how much ice cream are you making? The ice cream I made is only 1 pint. So if I had to use 3/4 of a brick of keto brick in there, that would be a lot. If you're making a larger container of it, it might not be so bad. And I shredded mine this time. The last 2 times I just cut off like an eighth or 16th of an inch of a off the brick, and then I chopped it up so it was chunky, more like a chocolate chip. If you did it like that, yeah, you could still get away with adding some more, but 3/4 of a brick is a lot. But they are good. I don't mind the keto brick. I actually got more of them coming. They should be here tomorrow, if I believe right. You eat a quart of keto ice cream every night. Yeah. And see, mine's a pint, so yours is how many pints are in a quart? It's a little different. But yeah, the adding that keto brick in there does change that whole thing. It makes it a lot more palatable, and it's a lot easier to eat. And you get different nutrients too with the keto brick. The keto bricks aren't that bad. They do have some carbohydrates, uh, but it's not as nearly as bad as what people think. And I've tried. I think I've ate up to a half a brick at a time, and it didn't do anything to my blood sugars. So the little bit of carbs that it does have in there, I don't have issues with. And the founder of the Keto Brick, Robert Sykes, I follow him on X. I just discovered that he's actually got a YouTube channel, so I haven't even looked at the YouTube stuff. But he has what is it called? Keto Savage is what he goes on all social media. So, but if you go on here, you go into the Keto Brick website, and you can look at the 100% carnivore friendly keto bars, and that comes up with the cake pop and the primal fudge. And you can click on it, and it'll give you the ingredient list, and it'll give you the facts on the back of the. Yeah, it's got 7 grams of carbs, but it's got 4 grams of fiber, 42 grams of protein, 89 grams of fat. So it's actually got a lot of stuff in there that's not bad for you. Other than, hydrogenized stuff. What the heck is that? The one thing that I wish manufacturers would stop putting on there is natural flavors. I don't trust natural flavors because that's where they hide stuff. So who knows what the natural flavors are? And it does have natural flavors in it, but that's all right. Uncle Willie says that my ice cream has about 10 tablespoons of butter in a quart. And I was telling my wife that last night that we could add butter into the ice cream, and it'll make it just creamier, and it shouldn't really affect the flavor of it much. But she likes butter, so it might be something that we get done here. Hey, good morning, John. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. We're talking about carnivore ice cream right now. Uncle Willie makes it. I made some last night for my wife and I. That's how it turned out. It's actually pretty uh, thin still here, so we have to take it out and mix it around up on the edges of this container because this container's froze. But that's what it looks like in the bowl, and oof, that was actually really good. Did you ever do anything like that? Yeah. So it's nice to have a treat. Um, the carnivore diet it's an extremely restrictive diet, but it's necessary, in my opinion, to heal. I still have a lot of healing to do. It's only been like a month and a half, well, almost 2 months now, since the leptin signal has come back to me, so I can tell when I'm full, when I don't need to eat. I haven't had it every day, but I have had it on several days where I'm eating, and all of a sudden the wonderful taste of the meat that you're eating just kind of goes bland, and it doesn't taste as good anymore, and it doesn't taste like it did. And that's your signal that says, hey, your body's had enough. I had that more days this last 2 months than not, but it's still different. It took me 18 months on the carnivore diet and elimination diet to get that signal. So it's not something that everybody gets still. And doing an elimination diet until your body heals is important. You know, I I damaged my body listening to the standard advice on what to eat for 57 years. And it's just been the last 18 months that I'm trying to heal my body. It's working. It's slow, but it is working. And that's the important thing, is that it's actually working. So I'm good with that. The West has fallen? Really? How do you figure that? And what's the reasoning behind the West has fallen? I don't know. But everybody can benefit from it in some way or another. Well, I agree, Benny. Your the fat gives you a much better signal than protein. Um, I still eat a very high fat carnivore diet. I try to get 75 to 80% of my calories from fat. And there are some days where I don't. Like, was it Friday? I came home on Friday night. Nothing really sounded good but shrimp. Now, shrimp is high protein, and it's one of the other fatty ones that you can eat, but it doesn't have the fat that a steak does, or ground beef does, or even pork. So, but that's what I had for dinner on Friday night. I had, was it 16 shrimp, and that's all I ate, and that's what my body wanted. So that's all I had for dinner. But yeah, most of the time, like 99% of the time, my body wants the higher fat. It has a lot of fat, especially with shrimp, a lot of fat soup. And when you eat the shrimp, you always have butter, where most people do. I cook it in butter. I use a carnivore companion gator bite seasoning on it. It's got a little bit of a bite to it, and it's gator bite. It's really good, and I really like that. If you haven't seen the carnivore companion lineup of seasonings, you should check out his site. It's carnivorecompanion.com. The guy's got some really amazing uh, seasonings on there, and they don't have sketchy ingredients. He puts on there exactly what's in there, and you have no doubt about it. That's, you know, carnivore ice cream. It's amazing when you look at it like this and you are able to have it. My wife enjoys it. I enjoy it once in a while, but you know, this is one of my favorite meals right here. Is just bacon and ground beef. Throw some extra butter in this here once it gets mixed together, and let some butter melt into it. And this has just got salt and pepper on it. There's no other seasonings on this. It's just pepper. Throw it on there, and it helps. You know, it helped me. I used to look like this. I used to be a huge guy. Look at the size of that belly. State fair, I couldn't even walk. I had to ride on a scooter because my body would not let me walk. 20, 30 minutes of walking, and my feet and my back were killing me, and I couldn't do it. My wife went and got me this so I could walk. 18 months later, I'm down 140 some pounds and going from a 3XL to a large, 205 pounds versus 347 pounds at my heaviest. It's a huge difference for what your body goes through when you feed it properly. I don't really exercise much. The last 2 days, I put on my uh, weight vest. Um, my weight vest, I have 20 pounds in it. I don't have the full 40 in there because I got to get used to wearing this thing. The last 2 days, and then I've walked around and for about a mile each day. It's not a long walk, but it's at a pretty good pace. Walk for a mile with a 20-pound weight vest, and it's been really nice for my body. I've actually done pretty good on it. I was pretty sure my ankles and my knees were going to be screaming at me because of the extra weight, but they weren't. So I'm actually really happy about that. Uncle Willie says I made 5 pounds of ground beef this morning. Meal prepping for the week. I was talking about that yesterday, and I talked about that with my wife today. I think I'm going to do that this week again, where I'm going to meal prep today, and I'm going to bring food to work with me. Have my meal for the day at lunchtime. That way, when I get home from work, I can go out and I can do my walk. I don't have to worry about cooking. I don't have to worry about eating, but I can actually eat and still have time. And I think my body will respond. Well, I'll see how my body responds to eating at that time and fasting, like I'm doing that. Crazy dog's trying to find her ball. Benny says, I can't wait to get back to standard carnivore so you can incorporate fat into my scrambled eggs again. So, what are you doing now, Benny? That's not standard carnivore. Are you doing a fast? Are you doing a line diet, or what are you up to? I don't remember seeing what you were doing, or something that you were doing something different. Ground beef and bacon, right, Tammy? That is one of the best things. Doing the lion diet, right? What I was thinking that you were referring to is that you were doing the lion diet. And how long have you been on the lion diet now? And is there a specific reason why you're doing the lion, just, or are you just doing it to eliminate everything on it again? And okay, this was one of my favorite meals, just bacon and ground beef. And this one has to be the next favorite, bacon, eggs, and ground beef. There's probably 6 slices of bacon chopped up in this, 6 eggs, a pound of ground beef, and then a couple extra pieces of bacon on top just for good measure. It's one of my favorite meals, between those two. And then ground beef patties with shrimp. Like I said, I love shrimp. I can eat shrimp with every meal. I don't mind at all. And that helped me go from that to that. in 18 months. It didn't take long to get healthy and to become a better person. Benny says to see if it would break a 4-month stall. You've been hovering at 331 and you're just trying to break that stall to start losing weight again. And that's one reason why you would do something like that. And yeah, are you getting like the signals? Like I had a hard time getting my leptin signal telling me I was full for the first 18 months on the carnivore diet. I wasn't getting that signal. I could still eat 3 or 4 pounds of meat in a day. I had no trouble doing that, but I was still losing weight. And when I first started, I knew that much of myself. I didn't have that signal. I tracked because I did a lot of research before I even started this. I did like 2.5 months of research, watching everything that Dr. Berry had, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Hampton, uh, Dr. Baker. I mean, I watched a lot of the carnivore doctors, and I did a lot of research on with Google and AI, and you got to take everything with a grain of salt that you get from AI because it doesn't recognize carnivore diet as a valid diet and something that's healthy for you. But you can still learn a lot from it. I had to track everything I was doing for a long time because I know my body. I knew I wasn't getting that signal that told me I was full. But when I was watching, I was paying just a little bit of attention to the total number of calories, but I was watching to make sure I got over 70% of my calories from fat. As long as I did that, my body felt like it was doing really good. And I felt that I got my best results when I was doing about 75 to 80% of calories from fat. And once I got my keto mojo, I could tell my ketones were higher the more fat I ate. My blood sugars were lower. And my body made the hormones better, and I healed better on that fat. Now, some people, and I learned this from Jenny Mittich. Her channel has some great information on weight loss stalls. If you haven't looked at her channel, I would recommend that, Benny. Her husband, Goran, eating the same diet that she was, and she was having great results on, he had zero results. So the higher fat, 70% of his calories or more coming from fat, didn't work for him. He had to go down into the 60s, like 60% of his calories from fat, for him to get the results that Jenny was getting. So what's working for me at 70 to 80% of the calories from fat might not be what your body needs. And sometimes eating that leaner cut of meat so that you're getting the 60, 50 or higher percent of your calories from fat, you might have to play with that and just try something different, shock your body. That's one of the things that the Lion Diet does do. It does make it so that you can test little things like that to see what's going on with your body. And if you're not having coffee, you're not having creamer, you're not eating Phil's ice cream, yum, and stuff like that, you can do this and figure out with the Lion Diet what works best for your body. The ground beef is easy meal prep for a few days. Any ground beef left after a few days is turned into a casserole mixed with eggs and shredded cheese. Absolutely. And that's such an easy way to do stuff too. I know I've done that with ground beef patties where I'll buy a box of ground beef patties. I think there's 30 patties or something like that in the box, or 32, whatever it is. And I'll cook them all in a day and have them for a week. And I'll eat 6 to 8 of them at a time, and it's delicious. fat only diet helps push through a stall. Yeah, do the experiment. And some people, for some people that works, Uncle Willie, some people like Goran have to have a lower fat. But doing the lion diet, you can experiment much easier and find where your body needs to have that. So, yeah. Benny says, I think they taught Gemini to be more inclusive of late because now he's now helping with my macros and encouraging me. But yeah, he still has that calorie in, calories out mentality. Yeah, they do. And that's the calories in, calories out does not work at all. That is one of the biggest lies and one of the biggest misconceptions. Because if you ate a pound of Oreos and a pound of ground beef every day, you're not getting the same nutrition. It's a huge difference. Hey, Kel, good morning. How are you today? Another beautiful day here. Actually, it's supposed to be going up into the mid 50s today and then snowing overnight because, what else does it do in North Dakota in the spring? Oh, and what do we got? We have special weather statements. I'm actually looking at it right now. Trying to get to the winter cast. Wintry mix as possible. Let's see, a wintry mix of snow and light freezing rain. Yep. Through this evening through Monday morning, light snow accumulations will be on the interior border with light snow accumulations are possible on the Highway 2 corridor, and that's where I'm at. It's right on Highway 2. There was another one earlier that said that we were supposed to get like 1 to 2 inches of snow overnight. So it is what it is, and we'll survive. Yeah, SQL doesn't account for hormonal response to food, right? Because your body will take the fat that you're getting straight from the animal and use it right away for your energy and for everything that you want. When it comes from a high glucose source like cake and candy and stuff like that, your body doesn't do so well on it. And we've had the experiment for the last 50 years on the standard American diet that shows it doesn't work. We have more obesity, we have more type 2 diabetes, we have more autoimmune diseases this time than ever before. It's all related to our diet. Jiffy, good morning. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you here. Let's see. Oh, by the way, cool shirt. Hey, thanks. I got this on Dante Ferrigno Freedom. So he's got some actual really cool carnivore shirts on his site. He's done a lot of spent a lot of time making some of these. They're actually pretty cool. I also use I can't remember what I use a tallow on my hand that I get from a place that he has a link on his site for, and I can't ever remember what it's called. Vintage Tradition. That's what it is. I've got it bookmarked. But the Vintage Tradition, they've got some really cool tallow bombs and tallow soap. That's one of the things I use from them all the time is I use their soap. It's actually really nice. It's unscented. I use the unscented version, but it's unscented and leaves your body feeling nice and so pretty good. But I miss Dante. He used to be doing a lot of videos on his site, and he has stopped doing a lot of them. He hasn't actually done anything for a video in 3 months, almost 4 months now. So He used to do a video like 2 or 3 times a week, and now he doesn't do any. I know he's had issues, family issues, and the last time he did anything, I think it was uh, Hack Your Health that he was at, and he did a couple of videos from Hack Your Health, but he hasn't been around very much since then, and he hasn't been on anybody's shows. I haven't heard from Dante lately. Uncle Willie says, yeah, and it's. I wish we could. I wish Dante would come back, and I really got a lot of inspiration from his videos. Uh, Benny says, I love Dante's. I love vegans. They are delicious. Doesn't he have a shirt that says something like that? Yes, he does. He does have that shirt. And he also has, I have a apron for cooking that from his site too that says, eat meat. The West wasn't won on a salad. I wear that when I'm like frying eggs or something that can splatter on my clothes. So Dante does have that. He is actually, he's got some cool shirts. Oh, yep. Holy cow. It's been a long time since Dante's posted anything. Just looking at his site now here, he hasn't put out a new video in 4 months. And it was Hack Your Health. The last thing he did was with Pluck when he was walking around there and stuff. But I know he's had some issues in his family life and stuff when his mom passed, and then a new job that's kind of keeping him out of stuff. I wish him well. I do miss him. I like the way he presents stuff. I like his sense of humor, and he's got some really cool stuff going on with his with just his site. It was so inspirational. The videos that he was putting out, he just had a lot of good stuff. If you look at, yes, he does have the I love vegans, and he's got like sheep, a goat, and a cow on the shirt, and it says they are delicious. That's exactly what they say. I know it's only $26 too. It's not bad. So can I do this? Dun, da, da, da. I want to share this screen. That one. So that's not working, is it? Oh, I tried. It didn't want to work. It's Kerry Mann's graphics, and that's from his video on Redmond came from the Salter website. Right. See? Redmond competitor and Kerry's new salt. Correct. And thank you, Uncle Willie. That's one of the things that I wanted to look at before I made anything like that, because I know there's competition out there for stuff. And I don't buy into it. He's used it for so long, and now all of a sudden there's an issue with it. Well, yeah, if he's got into the Saltar or whatever it is that he's doing with another company, now he's bashing Redmonds. And he used to support Redmonds so much. I don't think anything's changed with Redmonds. I think it's the same stuff that it's been to begin with. It's just follow the money. And it happens with a lot of places. I don't really trust what's going on with it. And it's just water this morning, not even an element in there. And haven't had any element this morning or any salt. And I don't use a salter. I do use element. I do make my own at times too. So it's not just element. Sometimes I'm using my own, which uses Redmond's. But I got to get my different setup for that. Because I did not like the magnesium glycinate mix. It's got to be the malate or something like that to get rid of that bitter flavor that has in there. Or maybe I could just have one of those with the potassium and the sodium and take the magnesium glycinate capsule instead of having it in the drink. That might be a better thing to do. Might actually be a better way to get the hydration for the body and get the electrolyte with the magnesium in there. So Benny's saying if it's true, it's Redmond's lead or Salter's plastics, right? You know, I agree. You have to look at them. You have to compare them. You have to do your own studies and don't take anybody's word for what's going on because people are getting paid for stuff. Follow the money, follow who's doing the study, and follow what's going on with it. Salter also does electrolytes, and they want to replace element, right? And there's a few companies out there that are doing it. Salter, Salty is another one, but the Salt R is a newer company, and I don't know who it is. There's somebody in the carnivore space that is one of the people that's behind it, and there's a lot of people that are pushing it. So, not me. I use my element. I don't do sponsored videos. I'm not one of those people. I do have a link to it. I get a discount. I put my own link into it, and I get my own discount and get my own sample packs. So my wife continues to get different flavors and try them. Tammy says she'll continue using Redmond's. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it right now. Anyway, I haven't done the research on it. I haven't looked into who did the study and why they're throwing shade at Redmond's now after all this time. But it's salt R. There, all these the salt's coming from the earth, miles down, or from old salt beds. They're going to have stuff in it. They're going to have stuff from the natural environment. You're not going to be able to get that out of there unless you go through and you mix it in water and then you filter and get all the impurities out of it and then dehydrate it again. And then what do you get? You get a sterile salt that they have to add iodine to and sugar. And then what's the use of it? Uncle Willie says Saltar is keto chow brand. They don't bash their competitors. Or Salty. Yeah, Salty is a keto chow, not the Saltar. And I've tried the Saltar or Salty. Salty is actually not that bad. They've got some different flavors and it's competitively priced. I did find for myself and my wife also, she liked the element better, but they do have some different flavors and it's nice to have something different now and then. And the Saltar are too expensive to be taken seriously. See, I haven't even looked at the price on the Saltar. I don't even know how much it costs for those. Saltar electrolytes. And there it is. Saltar. Right. It's a Norsk or Scandinavian country, right? I don't want that. So they won't let you shop for their stuff without putting in your information. That's not what I want to do. So how many is in the? There's 20 in a packet for $45. Yeah, that's more expensive than Element. So that's not something I'd actually probably buy because of the cost of it. There's sometimes they have 2 elements a day, so it's not cost effective for me. Tart lime, grapefruit, unflavored. They got just 4 flavors: salted caramel, coffee, tart lime, grapefruit, unflavored. But that's what they have. They're $45 for 20 packets. It's not really something that I would be doing anyway. Benny says Saltars. Element packets, I believe, come 30 in a box, don't they? We'll find out. Because why not? We can do this. We can figure out what they're doing on this here. Yeah, there's 30 sticks in a pack for $45. So you're getting 10 more electrolytes for the same price. And you can do a subscription just like on the other ones. But the Salt R, you get 20 sticks for $45. The Element, you get 30, and I believe the Salty is also 30 for that same price. So the price is the same. It's about $45 whether you buy any of those 3. The quantity is different, where the Salt R gives you actually 10 less than the rest of them. Uncle Willie says Saltar is pushed by Scott, the guy that runs Meat Stock. He's Carnivore Lion on YouTube. Okay. Saltar also puts 2 servings in each packet, so not that practical. Really? Yeah, why would you put 2 servings in a packet? I guess that's what they wanted to do. Let's see. Is that what it says in there? Ingredients: serving size, 1 stick. You get 360 milligrams of sodium as Norwegian sea salt, 100 milligrams of potassium gluconate for 100 milligrams, and magnesium as magnesium glycinate at 50 milligrams. So, but it does say that it's only 1 serving per packet on here. Cosmic Gesture says I wasn't looking at any of the electrolytes. I was just looking at the straight up salt price compared to other salts. Yep. Yeah, so Saltar, do they sell salt also? Oh yeah. Well, that's electrolyte and it's flake salt. Holy cow. They've got the starter pack, electrolyte salt, electrolytes is what they're just showing here. But yeah, it's not something the price point on that is more than I want. Cosmic Gesture, you're too cheap and you make your own electrolytes. Yeah, and that's one of the nice things about the Element website. When you look at that, you can search on there and find where they give you the recipe that they supposedly use for their salt or other electrolytes, and that's actually not bad if you can get the right magnesium. Because I didn't use the right magnesium, and that makes a big difference. Don't use a glycinate because it will taste terrible. But yeah, I know there's a controversy about that out there right now. I didn't read or watch Carrie's video. They did a little bit of looking at that this morning on Dr. Kills. They just mentioned it and then went off on something else. So they weren't very concerned about it either. Trace amounts of lead is biologically appropriate. Microplastics are not. That is true, Uncle Willie. There should be trace amounts of minerals and stuff, and that's one of the things that Redmond has always said is that they do have minerals, and that's something that's normal for it. I guess some people are just, I don't know. It's not something that I'm too concerned about right now because I know everything that we have out there is contaminated with something, right? But the most important thing is I'm not eating materials, plants, carbohydrates that are tremendously bad for my body. Plants are meant for medicine. Meat is meant to eat. Simple. So, that's my opinion. And if you read the description on it, this isn't medical advice. This is just my experiences. And I'm not a doctor. Nor did I stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I can't even do anything silly like that. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, what else we have here? That's about all I have on this right now. But yeah, there's nothing out there that's not contaminated by something. You can't go anywhere and pull anything out of the ground that's not contaminated. It's contaminated because of everything that we put in on our fields, and we have planes that fly over us every day, and they're putting crap on us, and we don't always know what it is. And they're not telling us; they're not being honest with us. So, what do? You know, you have to deal with it. Now, Redmond salt, does it have enough of this stuff in there to be harmful to us? Well, in the last 18 months, I've used more Redmond salt than I've used salt in the last 50 years. So I don't think it's that bad for me because I'm not having any ill effects for it. Benny says, I just went to the website and it clearly states 2 servings per stick. Okay. Only Jerome for reals. All right. Well, thank you for letting us know. I don't know how that affects anything that we're talking about. And Benny, you're talking about the Saltar having that on their site? Or if it's on one of the other ones. Because I'm just looking at the caramel. Because that was the first one there. Okay. The salted caramel is different. That is true. So if you look at the tart line, it does say half a stick is the serving size, and that's 360 milligrams of salt, 100 milligrams of potassium, and 50 milligrams of sodium. So and that is for half a stick. So what does that show? What's the difference between that and the element? Let's take a look here. Let's see. All right, element has, in one stick, has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Right? The salter for its half stick serving size is 360, 150. For the full stick, it's 720 milligrams of salt, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 100 milligrams of magnesium. So it takes a full stick of the saltar to get the same amount of potassium. They'll have less sodium and about another 40% more magnesium. So it's, you still would, to get the same stuff that you get in an element, for that you'd have to have the full stick. But if your body does well on it, why not? There's nothing wrong with it. You have a problem with large You have a problem with large influencers pushing out of context studies to mislead their followers. It's dishonest. It is. And I don't care for it. That's why I, even with like Carrie and with anybody like that, I will still check out and go through and look at stuff, because some of them are being influenced to do other stuff that they shouldn't, that I don't agree with. So just like our mainstream media, I don't trust everybody else like that anymore. That's one of the things that this has done on the carnivore diet. It's made me be more inquisitive about what's actually going on. So I don't trust everybody. Yeah, element has a little more electrolytes. If you don't need a whole lot of electrolytes, then maybe the saltar would be better. But how do you divide half a stick? You know, unless it's already divided in there. But that just, to me, it sounds like more of a hassle to do half a stick of the saltar than just doing a full stick. But, and I actually didn't look at the salty to see what the salty electrolytes did for this. I think they're very similar to what the saltar ones are, I believe, but I am not sure. I know I've tried them, and they're actually not bad. Let's look at their. Well, let's look at the blue slushy. That was actually one of the ones that my wife liked, was the blue slushy. And what does it give us for the sodium and stuff on here? Potassium 409 milligrams, magnesium 178. Sorry, and sodium 969. So it's about equal to the element. It's actually got more potassium and more magnesium, but the sodium is about the same. And that's one serving per stick. And I'm pretty sure that most of them are pretty much the same on this here, as that's kind of normal for these. I'm looking at their raw version of it right now. Yeah, 968, 480, 178. So yeah, they each have their own pros and cons to them. Actually, the salty are cheaper. A one-time purchase is $36 compared to $45 for Element for 30 packs. So that 30 packs? Yeah, I'm trying to look, but it doesn't zoom in far enough. But I believe it is 30 packs in this. Yeah, 30 clean, slate unflavored. So it has 30, and that's $36. So the Salt R is a little bit, or Salt T is a little bit cheaper than the Element and the uh, Salt R. It's $9 a bag cheaper. Might be a good deal. Um, Salt R adds magnesium and potassium to their salt to increase the electrolyte profile. Yep. So, and they're each one of them are using their own version of the magnesium and the sodium and the salt, the or potassium. So, you have to see what works for your body. We did try the salty, and my wife liked the blue slushy, but she felt the Element did a better job for her and didn't affect her glucose. And she preferred the flavor and the taste of the Element ones compared to the salty. But she did like the blue slushy, and there was another one that she liked too, and I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was the red, white, and Bam, but it was something else, and I can't remember what it was that she liked. But that's what we go off of. We find out what we like, and that's what we continue to use. And it's that time again in the morning. It's just after 11. In about an hour, I have a video that'll be coming out on. It'll be on Rumble, YouTube, and X. It's just a quick video showing the making of that ice cream that we did last night. So it's actually really good. Add some keto brick onto there. It comes out really nice. Has a very good flavor and texture. If you don't want to use the sugar and you have access to the raw heavy creams and raw milk, that makes it really nice, and it has its own sweetness with the raw products. But again, that's not health advice or anything like that. That's just what I have found. So if you want to try it, go ahead and try it. If not, don't. As Carnivore Ray says, I don't give a rip. So if you guys haven't watched Carnivore Ray's back doing his carnivore stuff, he had taken quite a long break from doing a lot of videos, but he's back doing them, back posting his videos. And he's the actual first person I saw doing carnivore on a video that got me looking into this diet. So give him a look. He's got some great content, and I love his sense of humor and the way he talks about stuff. So that's where one of his favorite things that he says is, I don't give a rip. And he doesn't. He doesn't care if you do the carnivore diet. He doesn't care if you do the standard American diet. He's just giving information out there, and that's what he likes to do. Yep, I love it. I don't give a rip. I've actually got one of his cutting boards that I used to eat off of. I still do. But, I got that I don't give a rip cutting board to eat on, and it's actually pretty cool. Love Carnivore Ray. He's got some great information. Just love the way he does his stuff. So give him a look at, and I'll be back here next week. Easter weekend next weekend, but I'll still be out here doing this at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. Uncle Willie says, I found powdered buttermilk and heavy cream on Amazon last night. Yeah, they do have a lot of good stuff on there. Yeah, I hope it works out well for Ray, him and his wife, soon to be wife. She's done a lot for him. So I wish him nothing but the best. He's helped out a lot of people. A lot of people watch his stuff. So until next weekend, you all have a great day. Eat meat, be happy. It's all it takes.